of you. Welcome back to course SOP Computing. So our today's topic of video is SOP Computing constituents, or you can say constituent elements of SOP Computing. In the previous videos we understand what are the different constituent elements of SOP Computing, but now in this video we are going to understand the details of SOP Computing constituents. Okay, so here I will explain all these constituents one by one. So let's see what are the constituent elements of a SOP computing. So there are three constituent elements are there for SOP computing. Very first one is a fuzzy logic, second one is a artificial neural network, and third one is a genetic algorithm. So here we try to understand all this thing in detail along with the example. So in short, I want to tell you what is the role of fuzzy logic in SOP computing. Fuzzy logic helps us for decision making. If you in order to make a decision, fuzzy logic is useful. Then artificial neural network is used to process the information. In order to take an input and process the information and generate an appropriate action is a role of a artificial neural network. And third one is a genetic algorithm. So what is the use of genetic algorithm? Genetic algorithm is used to find optimal solution for given problem. Means we consider that for a particular problem n number of solutions are already exist, but we need to find the optimal solution. So optimal solution you can find with the help of optimization algorithm. So these three elements are constituents of SOP computing. So all these elements we are going to discuss in detail. So very first we discuss about fuzzy logic. So very first I will tell you what is the meaning of fuzzy. Fuzzy means what? The thing which is not clear. Okay, the thing which is not clear is called as a fuzzy. Now why there is a need of fuzzy logic and how fuzzy logic helps us and what kind of problem that we can solve in fuzzy logic. So as I told you in the previous videos that there exists two logic. One is a Boolean logic and fuzzy logic. Okay, so traditionally Boolean logic is being used. So I will give another example. Suppose the question is this a car or not? What is the question? Is this a car or not? So in order to give answer at that question, you can say either yes or you can say no. Okay, so this kind of answer you can give. So in that case what you have used? You have used Boolean logic, because in case of Boolean logic only two possibilities are there, either yes or no, true or false, or 0 or 1. Okay, but now I have changed my question. I ask you what is the speed of the car. Okay, what is the speed of the car? Can I give exact answer of that question? No, because suppose the car is running on the road and you are present, you are just standing beside the road. Okay, and you are just observing the car and somebody asks you what is the speed of the car. So in that case you can't give exact answer. So in that case you can say the speed of the car is slow, the speed of the car is medium, the speed of the car is fast. So in this case you have three range. Okay, slow, medium and fast. But in that case there should be a range. When you say that the speed of the car is slow, when you can say the speed of the car is medium, when you can say speed of the car is fast. So it is going to change from person to person. It is not a fixed thing. Okay, so in that case suppose that question is asked what is the speed of car. Suppose I say the speed of car is medium. Okay, so can we solve this kind of question by using Boolean logic? So answer is no, you cannot solve such kind of question. Means whenever you will find certain kind of uncertainty, means there is no possibility of getting exact answer. In the previous question, is this a car? In this case exact answer will be there, either yes or no. But in the second thing I ask you speed of the car, whether it is exact? No, it is not. It is totally uncertain to guess what is exact speed of the car. So in that situation you are going to use the fuzzy. Fuzzy means what? The thing which is not clear. There are n number of examples are there. I can say speed of the car is fuzzy, temperature is fuzzy. Okay, height of the person is fuzzy. Suppose a particular person who is standing in front of you and somebody asks you what is the height of that person. So in that case you can say he is a very tall person. So what is the meaning of tall? When you can say that person is tall. For me, suppose the height of the person is greater than 6, then it is tall. For you, suppose the height of the person greater than 7, then you can say it is tall. So it is uncertain. So you can say that speed of the car is fuzzy, the height of the person is fuzzy. Okay, so that is a thing. Weight of the person is also fuzzy. You can't say that. Means you are saying that particular person is fat, particular person is thin. So it is going to change from person to person. Exact answer is not there. So in that case, fuzzy logic is very important, because what we observe that in our day-to-day life we are dealing with a uncertainty. Means uncertain situations are there. If we cannot provide exact answer for every question, there are certain questions where you need to provide answer in terms of probability, where you need to provide answer in terms of some approximation. So in that case, fuzzy logic is useful. Now let's discuss all this thing. So what we can say, fuzzy logic is a multi-value logic. Why you are saying it is a multi-value logic? Because the value of fuzzy logic varies between 0 and 1. Suppose you are using Boolean logic, then there are only two possibilities, either 0 or 1. But suppose you want the value between 0 and 1, then you should go for fuzzy logic, because fuzzy logic is a multi-valued logic whose value varies between 0 and 1. Fuzzy logic is a concept which was invented by Lotfi-Zodeh. And next one is, it is useful to handle uncertainty. I just explained with an example. What do you mean by uncertainty? Uncertainty means what? It's a situation where your answer is not exact. It is not a fixed. You cannot provide exact answer. So it is useful to handle uncertainty, just like to predict the height of a person, speed of a car, temperature of a room. Okay. Then we can say that it's an approach to computing which is based on degree of a truth. Degree of a truth means what? Again, uncertainty, how much correct it is. Okay, the speed of the car, so it has been divided into 3, high, low, medium, like this. Degree of a truth rather than Boolean logic. Means in case of fuzzy logic we are focusing on multi-value logic. It works on the level of possibility of input to achieve definite output. So fuzzy logic works on the concept of possibility. It works on the concept of approximation. Okay, so it produces a definite output for incomplete or ambiguous input. So in that case you are providing the input as the speed of a car. So speed is what? It is ambiguous, it is fuzzy in nature. Why I am saying speed of the car is fuzzy? Because I cannot guess exact speed of a car. Okay, that's why I am saying that it is fuzzy, it is ambiguous. So fuzzy logic takes ambiguous input and produces somehow approximate answer for that, and it mimics the decision making in human. Just I told you that fuzzy logic is used for decision making. So it mimics the decision making ability of a human that involves all intermediate possibilities between yes, no, 0, 1, true, false. Suppose you are saying that your answer is partially correct. Means there are two things, either correct or incorrect. But suppose you want to say it is partially correct, can we represent it with a Boolean logic? Answer is no, you cannot represent. So for that purpose what you required? You required a fuzzy logic. So now let's try to understand with the help of example, diagrammatic example. Now in this case I need to represent a temperature. So suppose you are present in the particular room and somebody asks you just predict what will be the room temperature. So in that case, can you give exact answer like this, the room temperature of the room is 20, 30, 40 like this? No, you cannot give. So in that case you can give answer in terms of you can say the temperature is cold, you can say temperature is warm, temperature is hot. So in this case, here you can see in this particular diagram, here it is 0 and it is 1. So in between 0 and 1 there are a number of things are there. So in order to say cold, what I can say, if the temperature of the room varies between 0 to 15, then I can say it is cold, 15 to 30 warm, and above 30 I can say hot. So that range is going to vary from person to person. It is not a case for everyone that 0 to 20 is a cold. I can say for me, suppose I say 0 to 25 is a cold. So that range is going to vary from person to person. So this is what a fuzzy logic example with a diagrammatic representation. So I hope you understand what is fuzzy logic and how fuzzy logic helps us, what kind of problem that you can solve. Whenever you will find some kind of uncertainty, whenever you cannot able to provide exact answer, at that time fuzzy logic is useful. So this is what a first constituent element of a SOP computing. Now next consider constituting element, that is artificial neural network. Okay, initially what I told you, what is main purpose of ANN? ANN is used for processing of information. Now before understanding artificial neural network, I will understand what is the base behind ANN. So what is the term? Artificial neural network. Okay, so neuron means it is depend on neuron. Have you heard about the term neuron? Those students who have opted biology, they know the brain, structure of the brain. You know that your brain is made up of millions and billions of neurons. So do you know what is the capability of a neuron? Neuron is used for processing of information. Do you know how your human brain works? So human brain takes input. So in your human body, n number of receptors are there, and number of input devices are there. Can you tell me what are the input devices of your body? I can say my various receptors, sensors present in the body, they are the input devices. Your eyes considered as a input device, your ear is input device, your nose is input device. All these are the input device. What is the role of input device? Input device will take the input from the environment, provide that input to the brain. Suppose you are touching, do you know when you touch a particular very hot thing, your hand gets out suddenly. How this thing is happening? Who have decided? Your brain has decided that thing. Suppose you touch a particular thing which is very hot, your brain give command, your brain gives an action, you just take out your hand. So how your brain works? Your brain is made up of millions of neurons, and all these neurons are connected with each other, and each neuron have capability to process a huge information. So by means of your input device, by means of eyes, nose, ear, you are just taking the input. In your skin, receptors are there. That's why when you touch a particular thing, you sense that it is hot. Those signals is passed to the brain. Your brain will take a decision to withdraw the hand from that particular thing. So accordingly that your human brain works. According to that, our human brain process the information, and with respect to this, it will take a appropriate action. So I just given an example that you touch a particular atom which is very hot, suddenly you gets your hand out of this. How this thing is happening? Just because of your brain. As soon as you touch to that particular object, signal pass to your brain. Your brain, in case of your brain, neurons are there. That neuron will process the information. That thing is very hot, it can harm your body. So what is your action? Just to take out your hand. So this is what you have processed, you have taken the information, you have processed the information, and you have taken the action. Suppose we want same thing to be implemented in the machine. So for that purpose, the concept is artificial neural network. Actually, artificial neural network is what we can say, it's a technique to mimic the working of human brain into the machine. Just like that your human brain works, similarly we want that machine should work. So for that purpose, what we require? Artificial neural network. So it's a structure of highly interconnected processing element which process the information. Network means what? Where a number of things are connected with each other for the sake of sharing the information, processing the information. So in our human brain, neurons are there which are interconnected with each other. So here I can show the structure of a neuron. What that neuron? These are the dendrites. Okay, these are the dendrites of neuron. Nucleus, where actual processing of information will take place, and how action is passed to the body by means of axons. So dendrites, through dendrites you can just take the input. Then in case of nucleus, processing of information will take place, and after processing of information, particular action is generated, and that action is provided through axons to your body. just I consider an example that through dendrites, as you touch to particular object, so from dendrites signal is passed to your brain. So their nucleus is there, it will process the information. There should be a particular threshold for temperature, means how much temperature that your body can sustain. Okay, so according to that threshold it will take a decision. No, its temperature is very high, it can harm your body, so it has taken a decision and it provided an action that you have to take out your hand from that particular object. So it is being passed through axon to your body, and according to that your body has taken the action. So this is how your brain is working, this is how your neuron present in the brain is working. So in the same way artificial neural network is there. So main objective of NN is to just mimic the structure of human brain, the working of human brain into the machine. We want that machine can able to take a decision just like a human being. Just like that your brain will take a decision, process the information, it will take action. We want that same thing is to be there in case of a machine, and for that purpose the term come, that is artificial neural network, man-made neural structure. So if we split these three words, artificial means what, man-made, neural means what, it is based on neuron, network means what, the things which are connected with each other. Why? Because in human brain all the neurons are connected with each other and they process parallelly, and number of neurons, millions, billions of neurons are processing at the same time. So again I can say it is biologically inspired computer program. Why we are saying that biologically inspired? Because I told you that human brain is a part of body and that is a part of a biology. Okay, that's why we are saying that it is a biologically inspired computer program designed to simulate the way in which human brain process the information. See, if we compare computer with a brain or human being, what we can say that, suppose I ask you suddenly in terms of computation, just calculate the 20 to the power 8. Can you process this within a quick time? Maybe you take some time, but if you provide this kind of input to computer will compute within a second as compared to the human being. So in this case computational power will be there, though we are saying that the computation power of a human brain is more, but still in this case it takes some time. Okay, but let's take another example. Learning is important in our day-to-day life. You are just consider that you are coming to college, you are just observing the teacher. So in the day when you are coming to college, so you know that this teacher is A, this teacher is B, this teacher is C. That means your brain has recognized that person, and tomorrow that faculty or teacher is coming with a different look, but still you can able to recognize that. So this is what your brain has learned, that thing. Your brain means particular teacher is there who is coming today with a different look, and tomorrow is coming in a different look, but still you can able to recognize that yes, this is a sir A, this is a madam B. How you are doing this? You are recognizing it, your brain has recognized it. But suppose you have given the same thing to the machine, can your machine do this task appropriately to normal computer? No, the answer is no, it requires a learning. Okay, so in this case we can say that human is winner. Why human is winner? Because human have ability to learn. Human have ability to learn by its own, based on the experience, based on the observation. Your brain is learning, and we want to embed the same functionality of human brain into the machine, and that is what a role of artificial neural network. Okay, now next see this is what a main structure of artificial neural network. So here you observe this, these x1, x2, xn, these are called as a input, whereas w1, w2, wn, these are called as a weight. Now you get confused that what do you mean by weight? So x1, x2 and xn, these are the inputs. But what is a weight? Actually the weight represents the priority of that particular input. Say x1, the value of weight will varies between 0 and 1. So in this case I can say that for x1 value of a weight is 0.5, for x2 value of weight is 0.6, and for xn the value of weight is 0.9. So what that weight represent? Weight represents the participation or priority of this input into that particular network. So in this case summation will be there. So this x is multiplied with w1 x1 w1 x2 w2 up to xn wn. So this kind of calculation will be done for I equals to 1 to n, because I don't know how many inputs are there. Just take a simple example. In order to recognize the digit, okay, in order to I want to recognize a digit. So there are digits, possibilities are from 0 to 9, 0 1 2 3 up to 9. These are the total 10 digits are there. I want to recognize it. So in this case you are going to provide the input. Okay, so in this case what I have done, first of all summation is calculated. That means every input is multiplied with a weight. So this formula we are using. So in this case summation is calculated. After that bias is added to it and it provided to function. Function will help us to produce the action. Okay, function will help us. The function is called as an activation function. There are various activation functions are there. Softmax activation function, ReLU activation function, tanh activation function. So what is the use of that? Activation function help us to bring the non-linearity. It help us to take appropriate action. In order to take appropriate action, activation function play a very important role, because in this case the value of weight is continuously being changing. Initially random weights are initialized. Okay, based on the initial priority the weights are initialized. Later on this kind of computation is done, it is being passed, and in this here we have output layer. Actually this is what a exact structure of a this is what the exact structure of artificial neural network. This is the structure. Yes, here you have input layer, you have hidden layer and the output layer. So we are taking the example of what I need to recognize a digit. So in this case you are providing input as a one particular image of a digit. Then in the hidden nodes, here in this case neuron is called as a node. See, in case of human brain we are saying it is a neuron. In case of machine, in case of artificial neural network, we are saying that neuron is represented by this node. This node represent one neuron. So hidden layer is responsible for processing that information. And what kind of processing is done? Multiplication of input with a weight, and then according to that it will take a decision, or it will take a action. So in this case how many output nodes will be there? In case of recognition of digit, how many possibilities are there? Total 10 possibilities are there. So here I have shown 2 output node, but in my case it will be 10. Why? 1 node for 0, node 1 represent 0, node 2 represent 1, node 3 represent 3, like this. So in this case in output layer we want 10 number of nodes. So number of nodes present in the input layer, number of nodes present in the output layer as well as in the hidden layer, it is going to vary from application to application. Now I want to take a decision whether there will be rain today or not. So in this case only there are 2 possibility, yes or no. So in this case in my output layer only 2 nodes are there. Okay, only 2 nodes are there in my output. But how many nodes are there in the hidden layer, that you have to decide. Okay, that is a part of your learning. Okay, so this is what a structure of artificial neural network: input layer, hidden layer and the output layer. So I hope you understand what exactly the concept of artificial neural network and what is the role. Actually artificial neural network is used for taking the input, processing it, and in order to take a appropriate action we required artificial neural network. Artificial neural network is what a simulation of your human brain, and it has multiple application in your real life. Okay, now we come to third constituent element of your supercomputing, that is genetic algorithm. So initially what I told you, what is the use of genetic algorithm? Genetic algorithm is used for optimization. In order to find optimal solution for given problem, you can use genetic algorithm. See, again genetic algorithm is a concept. Actually genetic algorithm is an evolutionary algorithm. It is again based on the biological phenomena. See, what we are trying to do in case of supercomputing, we are trying to mimic human intelligence into the machine. We have seen that in case of fuzzy logic, we are just mimicking the decision making power into machine. In case of ANN, what we are doing, we are just mimic the processing power of human brain into the machine. And now in case of genetic algorithm, we are going for optimization. Optimization is very important thing, because a number of solutions are available. You need to choose appropriate solution, you need to choose optimum solution. Just take an example of traveling salesman. In case of a traveling salesman problem, a number of routes are available, a number of costings are available, but you need to decide which is a optimal cost. Okay, so optimization can be done in terms of time as well as in terms of resources. Just take a simple example. In order to reach from your home to college, 5 routes are available, and all these 5 routes in terms of distance, route 1 10 km, route 2 12 km, 13 14 15, like this. So in this case I can say that the route which is having 10 km is an optimal one. So this is how genetic algorithm help us to find the solution, because in the universe in the search space, a number of solution already exist. You need to find global maxima. Global maximum is what? A number of things are available, out of which you need to find it is a best. Just take an example. You are going to shop to purchase a cloth. So a number of cloths are already there in the cloth shop. You need to find appropriate cloth. You can say optimal cloth, the cloth which is having a good quality with a good cost, because that shopkeeper will show a number of cloth which is having different quality, different cost, but you need to decide which cloth I want to buy, and that is again based on what? Its quality, its cost. So this is what a optimization, and in that case genetic algorithm really helps you. So genetic algorithm is again based on the biological concept, Darwin's theory of survival of a fittest. So what I can say, genetic algorithm is a search heuristic inspired by Darwin's theory of survival of fittest. Again I can say genetic algorithm is a evolutionary computing algorithm. Evolution means what? What do you mean by evolution? Evolution means what? Your parent is there, your father is there, your mother is there, after that you are there. So how? This is what a evolution. First of all your grandparents are there, then your parents are there, then you are there. So this is what a evolution means. First of all there is a grandparent, from grandparent your parents generated, or you can say your parents comes into existence, from your parent you comes into existence. So this is what a evolution. That's why we are saying that genetic algorithm is a evolutionary algorithm. Okay, then it reflects the process of natural selection, where the fittest individual are selected for reproduction in order to produce the offspring. See, as I told you that genetic algorithm is similar to the biological phenomena. So in biology you may learn about reproduction, you may learn about offspring. So based on this, genetic algorithm is there. In case of genetic algorithm, you will calculate the fitness of an individual, and according to that you will select this. Okay, I will explain, don't worry, with example and along with the phases. So genetic algorithm is commonly used to find optimal solution, and genetic algorithm involves various genetic operators such as selection, crossover, mutation. Selection means what? Based on the fitness. Just take a simple example, that suppose consider the traveling salesman problem. So for traveling salesman problem 5 solutions are available. So each path that you have calculated, for every path there is a certain cost. So fitness value is nothing but a cost of that particular path. Means the cost of path is 5, 10, 15. So you will choose a path which is having a lowest distance. So this is what a selection. And fitness means what? In this case fitness is represented how much time it takes. Suppose path 1 will take 5 minutes, path 2 will take 10 minutes, because in the traveling salesman problem we need to find the shortest path. So in that case fitness is calculated. Fitness will represent the cost of that particular path. Selection means what? Obviously you will select that path which is having a lowest value. Then crossover, actually crossover is a part of reproduction where two entity comes together, fuse it, and this is what a crossover. Okay. And mutation, in case of a mutation, what we need to do, it actually depends on genes. Do you know genes are responsible for human characteristics? You are saying that particular person is short, particular person is tall. Why is it so? Just because of gene. Okay. Means though you resemble with your parents, okay, though you resemble with your parent, sometimes you may heard this statement, his parents are very short but his height is very tall. Okay, how this thing is happening? He is very tall. How this thing is happening? Because though you are resembling with your parent, but there are certain genes that comes into your body which is responsible for new characteristics feature. What are the features of human being? Our height, our weight, our personality, our hair, all these are the genes are there. So in case of mutation, a new kind of there should be a certain change. Means as compared to your parents, you are different. Somehow you are different. Some certain new genes are there. So this is what I think. The genes are transferring from one what we can say, one hierarchy to another. Okay, so these are the various operators of genetic algorithm. Okay. Now we try to understand what are the different terms that is being used in case of genetic algorithm. Population. Population means what? Population consists of individual. Suppose in case of traveling salesman problem, we can say that initially 5 solution exist. So 5 solution constitute together to form a population. Population consists of individual. The group of individual is nothing but a population. In our example, in case of traveling salesman problem, I can say that 5 solution considered as a population. Then genes are there. Just I told you, genes is responsible for feature. Particular path is longest path, particular path is the shortest path. That is the thing, means every path is different. In you can see in universe, every individual is different from other because their genetic structure is different. Their genes are different. The genes are responsible for your hair color, your eyes, nose, legs, hand, all these just because of genes. So genes are different. Then fitness. Fitness means what? Its value. Just in case of traveling salesman problem, I can say the cost of every path represent the fitness. Selection means you are going to select the fittest, means the optimum solution. Then crossover. In case of crossover, it is actually part of reproduction where fusion will be there. In case of mutation, we try to embed a new genes into that particular solution so that we will get a new solution. And offspring. Offspring means what? You can say your parents are there, and from parent you are generated, so you are considered as a offspring. So these are the various terms that we use in case of genetic algorithm. Now next I try to explain a genetic algorithm with number of phases involved in a genetic algorithm. So in this case, what I can say, initially population is being generated. Now what do you mean by population? In this case, population, we have just taken the example of what? Traveling salesman problem. So in this case, in your population, in your search page, a number of solution already exist. Okay, so this is called as a population. This is called as a population. Then after that, there will be evaluation where fitness of that particular every solution is being calculated. That means 5 solution already exist in the universe. Then for every solution you will calculate its cost. So that cost is calculated, that means fitness of that solution is being calculated. Then selection. In case of selection, what you will do? You will select only those paths which is having lowest cost. Okay. After that there will be crossover. In case of crossover, what you will do? You will fuse this two path which you have selected. You have selected 2 paths which is having optimum cost, which is having a highest what we can say, highest fitness, and then crossover operation will be there. So in the crossover operation, what you are doing? Fusion. Then in case of mutation, what you will do? You will try to do a different thing. You just try to flip the genes in that particular offspring, and then again population will be there. So this cycle is continuously revolving. So these phases are in the loop. Now in this case, you require some terminating condition. So in that case, what will be the terminating condition? Terminating condition means what? When this particular phase should stop, when this loop will stop. So in this case, there are two terminating condition can be there. One, based on number of iteration, and second, first is based on iteration, or second, there should be some requirement that I want optimum solution, means its cost should be 10 minutes. Okay, so termination condition can be two, either number of iteration or specific solution, specific optimum solution. Unless and until I got this optimum solution, this loop is going to run. So this is how genetic algorithm is there, and it's one of the example is Max-One problem. So we are going to discuss how to solve Max-One problem, that is in the next video. In next video we are going to discuss about this. So I hope you understand three constituent elements of soft computing. One is a fuzzy logic, which helps for decision making; artificial neural network, which is responsible for processing of information and take appropriate decision, appropriate action; and finally genetic algorithm, which help us to find optimum solution. So I hope you understand all this topic and understand its role in a soft computing. Thank you.